are there any special guests to see?
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession and the Chancellor.
I declare that the 553rd Convocation of McMaster University for the conferring of degrees is now in session.
Please be seated. Good morning. I am Dr. David Wilkinson, Provost and Vice President Academic of the University. This morning I have the great pleasure of acting as your Master of Ceremonies and of welcoming you, graduands and guests, to this Convocation ceremony. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some of the notable leaders joining me on the stage today. Dr. Suzanne Labarge, Chancellor, Dr. Patrick Dean, President and Vice Chancellor, Mr. Ron McCurley, President of Mohawk College, Dr. Barbara Kelly, Vice President, Academic Services of Conestoga College, Ms. Mary Williams, Vice President, University Advancement, Dr. John Kelton, Dean and Vice President, Faculty of Health Sciences, Dr. Bruce Milliken, Acting Dean, Faculty of Science, and Associate Vice Presidents, Associate and Assistant Deans, faculty members, and honored guests. Before we start our formal program, may I first ask everyone in the hall to switch off any electronic device that may ring or beep during the ceremony. I would now like to call upon our Chancellor, Dr. Suzanne Labarge, to make her own welcoming remarks.
Welcome, honored guests, family, friends, colleagues and faculty from McMaster University, Mohawk College, and Conestoga College, and most importantly, graduands. This is an exciting day for all of you who are graduating today, as well as for all those people who have supported you and stood behind you, and in many cases have had a key role in you being here today. You have achieved a great deal to get here, and you should all be very proud of your success and looking forward to what the future might bring. Congratulations, and enjoy the ceremony.
I would like to welcome Dr. Patrick Dean, President and Vice Chancellor, to the podium, who will be presenting the honorary degree recipient.
Chancellor Labarge, by the authority of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present Isabel Amelia Costa Mendes. Isabel Amelia Costa Mendes has been a professor at the University of Sao Paulo at Ribeirão Preto College of Nursing since 1991. In that time, she has served 2 terms as coordinator of the Advisory Committee for Multidisciplinary Health Nursing and 2 terms as Dean of the College. She has also been the director of the World Health Organization, WHO, Collaborating Center for Nursing Research Development, Brazil. She chaired the Pan-American Network of WHO Collaborating Centers for Nursing Development from 2003 to 2005, and was president of the Commission of Accreditation of Magazines for the USP Support Program for Periodical Scientific Publications. She has also served as the nursing representative to the Brazilian Ministry of Science and Technology through 2 different terms. A prolific researcher whose work in English, Spanish, and Portuguese influences a number of aspects of nursing, Dr. Mendes serves as the editor of the Latin American Journal of Nursing, a publication of which she is one of the founders. She is also a member of the editorial board for Nursing Ethics, the journal of the International Center for Ethics in Nursing. Dr. Mendes's work has advanced knowledge translation and exchange infrastructure significantly, particularly in low-resource areas. She has also been instrumental in developing awareness of the importance of and need for research to inform health authorities and governments and improve education and clinical services. Dr. Mendes has done and continues to do outstanding work in bringing nursing professionals together across Brazil, throughout the Americas, and worldwide. From 2002 to 2006, she coordinated the academic operation agreement between her home institution and the Inter-American Drug Abuse Control Commission of the Organization of American States in order to help develop research specializations for nurses from 10 different Latin American countries. Dr. Mendes served as Secretary General of the Global Network of the WHO Collaborating Centers for Nursing and Midwifery for 7 years, and for the last decade has been Director of the World Health Organization Collaborating Center for Health Development Nursing Research. She has also played key roles with the Telenursing Network Advisory Group of the International Council of Nurses, the B.Sc.N, the International Society for Telemedicine and E-Health, and the General Board of the School of Nursing at the University of Coimbra, Portugal. She was the founder and president of the Rho Upsilon chapter of the Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing in Brazil, which was the first chapter constituted in Latin America. Dr. Mendes also served on the Sigma Theta Tau International Advisory Council. A member of the Academy of Sciences of Ribeirão Preto since 2006, Dr. Mendes received the Susana Spino Prize from the Latin American Association of Schools and Faculties of Nursing and was named the most prolific Latin American researcher in nursing scholarship over a period of more than 4 decades. Chancellor Labarge, it is a privilege to present to you Isabel Amelia Costa Mendes, a leader in clinical nursing, nursing education, and nursing research, not just in her home country of Brazil, but worldwide. I ask Chancellor Labarge that you confer upon her the degree Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Isabel Amelia Costa Mendes, by the authority of McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Science honoris causa in McMaster University with all the rights and privileges pertaining to that degree. Congratulations. The sign here. I would now like to invite Dr. Mendes to deliver the convocation address. Thank you.
Dear President Dean, Chancellor Labarge, President McCurley, Dean Kelton, Director Byrne, distinguished platform party, colleagues, and students present here today. Rather than finding yet another original way to thank you for the great honor you have granted me, I believe it would be more interesting for all of us to engage in a brief reflection. I depart from the view that of the university as a network which you are all familiar with, in which education, research, and community service mutually influence one another. The core issue that has occupied my and many scholars' minds around the world is how can universities prepare their students for a world in a turmoil, for a reality that is changing at such a high speed? In fact, for what reality are they preparing their students? Especially focusing on nursing, considerable work has been done to survey the needs for the expected future. At the World Health Assembly in Geneva last month, the synthesis paper towards a global strategy on human resources for health 2030 was discussed, which I invite all of you to read. In that discussion, 5 interrelated themes were highlighted that will shape the health workforce agenda and the health service delivery over the next 15 years. 2 of these 5 themes, in my opinion, deserve your particularly attention. First of all, there is a mismatch between the demand, need, and supply of health workforce. The draft global strategy makes the case that domestic and international investment in the health workforce offers a triple return: social and economic benefits, especially for women, improved health outcomes, and a robust frontline defense for global health security. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the challenge each and every one of us is facing. When I access the website of your School of Nursing, in the upper left corner, it says, inspiring innovation and discovery. This awareness and spirit, together with the internationally renowned excellence of your home institution, puts you at the forefront. The second theme that was highlighted is the acceleration in the domestic and international migration of health professionals. I believe that one of the important challenges around the world is the deployment and retention of health workers in remote, underserved, and also in unsafe areas. Nursing schools can and should contribute to the development and implementation of new educational models and health service strategies to counter this trend. A third theme is the composition and optimization of healthcare workforce. The fourth theme is the need for improved governance and management. And finally, the fifth theme is the essential need for data measurement and accountability, in which nursing schools also have a paramount role to play. Our history of evidence-based practice and care systemization skills turns nursing professionals into key contributors in this sense. And I am referring not only to the production, but also to the interpretation of the ever-increasing amount of data produced. With that picture in mind, let us return to my initial question: how can nursing schools prepare their students for the reality outlined in the WHA report? A key term WHO is putting forward in response to this question is transformative education, including changes in the way students are taught, in the way educational institutions operate, and in how continuing health education is provided in a broader sense. In terms of instruction, an approach is needed that is both competency-based and inter- and transprofessional. According to WHO, there should be a shift in the locus of responsibility for learning from the teacher to the student, and pedagogy should be redesigned with the inclusion of learning on social accountability, health and gender equity, social justice, and human rights, and to generate leadership qualities to enable health workers to be effective change agents for the healthcare system and the communities in which they operate. It should be kept in mind that instruction refers not only to the education of new professionals, but also to guaranteeing that the mix of competencies of existing health workers matches the environment they function in. But above all, nursing schools should work to instill a number of values that are fundamental across professional boundaries to guarantee health. The provision of care in a way that respects all people equally. Accountability for the care provided, for the judgments made and actions taken. Permanent alertness to keep everyone safe in the places where the care is provided. Putting people at the center of the care. Serve as a communication hub in the health system. Ongoing learning and qualification. Acting as coordinators in inter- and transprofessional activities, and thus serving as true leaders. Congratulations to you all for your courage and vision. On this occasion, I also want to pay a brief tribute to a leader, to a nurse leader, who has been a partner and friend along this 24-years-long journey as a WHO Collaborating Center. Distinguished Professor Andrea Baumann, congratulations on receiving your university's highest honor. Finally, I want to thank you once again to the great honor of this distinction, not only for myself. In this occasion, I share this distinction with my family. So not only for myself, but also for my department, my college, my university, and for Brazilian nursing. The global vision of McMaster University, its professors and managers is an inspiration for nursing schools and scholars all around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mendez. You've given the audience a wonderful look at the opportunities and challenges that face the nursing profession in the changing world of healthcare, both domestically and globally. We are delighted that Dr. Mendez, who has contributed so much to the nursing profession, both in her own country as well as globally, has joined the McMaster family, and we welcome you. Thank you.
Dr. Dean will now come forward to present the graduands to our Chancellor for admission to their degrees.
Will the graduands please stand? Madam Chancellor, on behalf of McMaster University Senate, I present to you these candidates in order that you may confer the appropriate degrees upon them, and I bear witness that they are worthy and suitable. May I also request that you confer the appropriate degrees in absentia upon all those candidates who have successfully completed the required course of study, but who are not present.
Graduands, by my authority and that of the McMaster University Senate, I have the great pleasure to admit those before me today and those in absentia to their individual degrees in McMaster University with all of the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees. My sincere congratulations to you all. Please be seated.
Graduates, I now ask each of you to join me on stage so that the Chancellor and I may welcome you to the McMaster community of scholars.
Ladies and gentlemen, so that each graduate's name may be heard, it would be appreciated if during the presentation of the graduands, you would hold your collective applause to the end of each degree category. Thank you. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Doctor of Philosophy. Lucia Constantini. Rebecca Lee Ganan. Lynn Miles. Wait, oh yeah, Iris Mujica. Iris Mujica. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following candidate for the degree Master of Science, Jennifer Nickel.
Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Michelle Achilles. Jessica Ackerman. Eniola Adams. Sarah Adain. Helena Ajikum Pessoud. Amanda Marie Aiello. Shems Rayad Al-Tayeh. Isabel Alba. Sydney Ray Alexander. Avery Allen. Ruanpura Nilmini Amarasekara. Mohammed Amjad. Brady Bruce Anderson. Sonia Holly Anderson. Christina Angeloni. Izunu Ugochukwu Onosike. Anthony Francis Ayoyanan. Bridget Apia Bediako. Nicole Jane Arthur. Najani Athithan. Oluwade Milade Atilade. Marilyn Atkin. Chamila Ayomi Atapatu. Renee Au. Barbara Babich. Crystal Scarlett Bayaoko. Adrian Aaron Baksh. Jennifer Susan Ball. Tiffany Shannon Balla. Taryn Barkley. Kristen Lee Barnum. Jerica Batty. Nicole Madison Bauman. Alexandria Joan Elizabeth Beaton. Cassandra Bedar. Alison Bedford. Saida Nilima Begum. Megan Bernis. Shanessa Bethelot. Paul Betts. Nizari Bavsara. Lisa Bittner. Charlotte Amelia Lisa Blakely. Jenna Ann Blumendahl. Kimberline Adonio Bolosh. Rachel Mary Bombery. Vanessa Sarah Booth. Celine Boss. Jenna Bott. Elisa Bowers. Karolina Agata Bovnik. Alexandra Claire Brady. Yelena Brda. Rachel Emily Breen. Casey Whitney Brewer. Colleen Lynn Brucey. Andrea Bryants. Brianne Bittenhuis. Eva Buckley. Christy Rosemary Bai. Kirsten Joelle Cadu MacDonald. Amanda Campagnaro. Leah Cantlone. Samantha Carr. Victoria Carr. Cheryl Carriere. Emma Page Cascadin. Stephanie Ray Catarino. Shannon Patricia Cave. Shell Hazel Cavill. Dawn Elaine Carantola. Jennifer Leanne Chambers. Julia Diane Chase. Cindy Chea. Marco Chung. Rebecca Melissa Chirilenko. Katie Chong. Darren Chow. Rachel Christian. Joanna Chu. Harjit Kaur Chung. Eleonora Agnella Tsifani. Catherine Lydia Sino. Kelsey Jean Marie Clary. Nicola Catherine Clift. Erica Coyo. Jessica Colmenares. Ainsley Catherine Emily Coltejohn. Kaylee Como. Natasha Lindsay Connors. Timothy Noya Cooch. Chelsea Cook. Mitchell Thomas Stanley Cook. Irene Coronado. Winifred Jessica Costa. Mike Cote. Emily Cotter. Carla Renata Kuperus. Samantha Tiffany Crooks. Rachel Kraus. Bernadette Joy Cruz. Jennifer Lillian DeCosta. Caroline D'Souza. Corrine Pearl Davies Shinkle. Amy Helen Davis. Stephanie Alexandra Davis. Daniela de Andrada. Naomi DeCat. Warren John DeSaw. Christina Bianca Di Simone. Sarah Marie Diavo. Leanne Christina de Jong. Isel de la Cruz. Jocelyn Shelley Denstedt. Rochelle Marie de Rosa. Lana Di Simone. Danielle K. de Vries. Daltash Daliwal. Crystal Danjun. Harshdeep Singh Dillon. Taylor Di Vinanzo. Katerina Sarah Di Natale. Maya Duric. Carly Dugan. Devin Danielle Dunn. Juliana Duong. Danielle Donna Duval. Uyosa Alma Ebomwoni. Sarah Ellens. Earl James Diamos Entice. Charles Vincent Escobedo. Vanessa Barbara Fabiani. Andrea Carmela Falcioni. Michael Daniel Favero. Camille Catherine Fedrakov. Erica File. Taylor Ferguson. Lauren Rochelle Fink. Michelle Joanna Flegel. Hannah Ruth Ford. Kelsey Ann Forbes. Cassandra Marie Fowley. Julie Elizabeth Friedman. Jackie Marie Gauntlet. Alice Gionio. Jagjit Kaur Gill. Jessica Gill. Ravnit Gill. Tanya Gill. Emily Jane Gilpin. Bethany Gladding. Jennifer Lynn Glover. Lara Gobriel. Carolina Gomez. Lilieth Gray Jarrett. Chelsea Leigh Green. Marisa Gross. Hei Yoon Ham. Kelsey Erin Hamilton. Lee Harrison. Emily Dara Harron. Terry Margaret Haslam. Kirsten Lee Holko. Teresa Marie Heeg. Rusiri Herat. Lauren Colleen Hesh. Lindsay Marie Hickey. Rebecca Hillhorst. Agatha Diana Hochheimer. Michelle Marie Holfoyer. Carrie-Anne Michelle Holmes. Raluca Horga. Christine Elizabeth Hoskin. Raisa Tanjila Hossain. Rebecca Hovey. Emily Hoyle. Madison Hoyechko. Nicole Hoitima. Emily Hunter. Caitlin Yarboni. Omalolo Opieda. Samantha Udica. Stephanie Max Ivanchuk. Mateusz Janusz Jach. Megan Lee Jameson. Anna Maria Janikowski. Eric Abrahams Johnson. Amanda Johnston. Alisa Rebecca Joseph. Dragana Jovanovic. Bailey Judd. Nicole Kabala. Rachel Victoria Callas. Elizabeth Catherine Kamler. Kiranjit Kaur Kang. Akash Kapoor. Alpha Thomas Kappen. Raya Katan. Karakesi Kayasiri. Aslam Kasia. Lauren Kellner. Christopher Kilbourne. Bu Kyung King. Hie Ryong Kim. Seong Min Kim. David Claver. Kelly Margaret Knights. Suzanne Rose Kolb. Stacy Kramer. Stephanie Alethea Kramer. Nicole Kupfer. Ruth Kuhn. Caroline Joanna Kulik. Rachel Kushmierz. Oilai Kwan. Juliet Lachko. Shannon Margaret Liang. Erin Marie Lamport. Natalie Lane. Jocelyn Grace Law. Catherine Leach. Melanie Michelle Lees. Fioritza Lefter. Kumasi Lem Nwing Ndangere. Eunice Hong Yi Leung. Alison Lee. Lin Lee. Jacqueline Liddle. Kayla Lima. Victoria Sue Ern Lin. Rachel Lindsay. Maria Bianca Ires Leonora. Sarah Lowe. Julia Fernandez Lopez. Olivia Barbara Lawrence. Shelley Luong. Lauren Ashley Lupal. Lauren Taylor MacDonald. Catherine Ann McInnes. Whitney Gale Mackay. Carissa Marie McClellan. Dylan Donald Kenneth McPhail. Krista Alana Mace. Courtney Jean Marie Maidment. Vanessa Joy Lizarondo Manalo. Juan Paulo Manrique. Rebecca Manuel. Janelle Marcout. Diana Marginien. Caitlin Markle. Laura Martins. Alana Martin. Haley Robin Metechuk. Brooke McConnell. Rebecca Lee McDowell. Laura Marie McGilvery. Jessica Marie Maguire. Ellen Laura McHale. Jacqueline Rose Mackay. Kaylin Elizabeth McMeekin. Courtney Kiefer Meadows. Nicholas Kamin Menicola. Caitlin Ann Mary-Lise. Alison Meski. Sandra Melville. Chelsea Victoria Miller. Lindsay Maria Miller. Kevin Min. Rachel Mixer. Kayla Dawn Moss. Melissa Sarah Motum. Caroline Marie Müller. Florence Miruri. Stalina Soyoung Mun. Heather Mundy. Shunmuga Priya Muthu Kumar Asami. Dari Alicia Nantheveth. Maria Agnes Yu Nazareno. Peter Nathan Nur. Holly Ann Netherton. Tracy Neufeld. Christina Rebecca Newman. Fatima Lee Nguyen. Lena Phuong Nguyen. Sifuni Uziwe Nikiwane. Lainey Ogilvie. Alexandra Oliver. Adrian Dane Ondiano. Jennifer Ashley Ong. Stephanie Marie Orr. Hannah Rose Leslie Ortiz. Yasmin Mohammed Osman. Chelsea Marie Oswald. Teresa Otto. Bryden Levi Ovendik. Funmilayo Oyadiran. Mariano Palomo. Alicia Christensen Papayani. Alexandra Paris. Elizabeth Pavlitzer. Matthew Payette. Colleen Elizabeth Peasley. Camille Peplinski. Edgardo Danilo Perez Mora. Rebecca Constance Pettinella. Carlos Felipe Peña. Alicia Lynn Pierce. Stephanie Elizabeth Pilkey. Yastin Pineda. Rachel Pittle. Nicole Pletch. Charlene Poole. Gillian Grace Princeton. Tamara Primak. Erica Nicole Punsalan. Julianne Radnor. Anna Maria Radu. Beth Ann Ray. Devin Kelsey Rankin. Samantha Lynn Rasmussen. Erica Rouse Paventi. Marlette Joy Ravello. Lorena Ann Reed. Krista Line Rice. Aaron Alexander Richardson. Carly Maureen Roberts. Rochelle Constance Robertson. Tracy Lynn Rochetta. Michael Rodriguez. Michelle Rohaman. Emma Jane Romano. Veronica Ross. Kaylee Roth. Rebecca Annie Roth. Alexis Rosario. Marsha Rosendahl. Alison Lee Rush. Elizabeth Jane Rusin. Francine Sabatani. Astrid Sasaran. Julianne Scherer. Bethany Danielle Schildhus. Arika Scott. Natalie Christine Scott. Laura Francis Scrocaro. Patricia Seixeiro. Krista Sferaza. Natalie Marie Sferaza. Sarah Elizabeth Shackleton. Elizabeth Shaw. Rena Sheehy. Evan Shepherd. Savneet Kaur Sidhu. Elizabeth Silva. Leanne Sim. Amrita Singh. Diana Lynn Sinapoli. Maria Louise Padua Sisson. Carmen Sissin. Tyson Sharda. Nancy Skin. Maya Skrebic. Amanda Grace Sloot. Andrea Smith. Andrea Ann Smith. Jessica Smith. Lindsay Smith. Kelsey Snyder. Ada Badion Songahid. Victoria Spinelli. Taylor Squires. Caroline Ann Stankus. Rebecca Catherine Steckley. Alexandra Stevens. Christina Marie Stinson. Angelika Stutzenegger. Cassandra Sum. Caitlin Sushko. Vishali Suthasan. Melissa Joy Sabo. Dominic Tavares. Cassandra Taylor. Kylie Elizabeth Teggart. Rachel Tellian. Tanya Thomas. Chelsea Tideswell. Chloe Rose Tiedemann. Gazelle Tour. Gabriela Montserrat Torres. Jamila Fadi Taut. Kim Tran. Carly Tsang. Kaylee Victoria Turpin. Nsikan Abasi M. Uboho. Sarah Alexandra Urbanski. Joanna Marie Uy. Golda Nia M. Valesta. Rayanne Van Essen. Ariana Elizabeth van den Doel. Maria Vigna. Haley Finken. Rebecca Alexandria Flinken. Justin Voisin. Benjamin Folmer. Elizabeth Laura Vuxen. Alicia Christine Ward. Marika Watson. Lindsay Marie Weinert. Megan Ann Velink. Erin Lynn White. Shelby Tamara Wiersma. Alicia Ann Williams. Amanda Danielle Wilson. Sarah Elizabeth Wiltshire. Mary Jane Woods. Kadesha Wright. Hielni Favor Vuoranti. Gillian Wybrow. Taylor Aidan Riley Young. Christine Elizabeth Yunchik. Zachary Zacharievich. Amanda Zakaria. Bronwyn Zatterberg. Jenny Zhang. Marie Zhao. Junli Chong. Tabitha Eden Zindel. Madam Chancellor, may I present to you the following graduates of the degree Bachelor of Medical Radiation Sciences. Rania Abdelhadi. Yasmin Al-Gailani. Shane John Allam. Riley Alisa Armstrong. Ashley Teresa Asselstein. Taylor Madison Auld. Patrick Badawika. Vanessa Sarah Rose Barati. Natalie Bateni. Joel Evan Beveridge. Justin Bogle. Jasmine Chan. Christopher Philip Decker. Victoria Juliana Del Conte. Carly Rose Doherty. Kaylee Duncan. Caitlin Michelle Hughes. Marco Gaspare Florio. Alisa Carmen Cassia Garrod. Jasdeep Kaur Guman. Véronique Guiguer. Amélie Michelle Gillier. Megan Victoria Good. Alexandria Katrina Gordon. Diane Emery. Minisha C.K. Hare. Serena Agatha Harper. Amy Louise Harrigan. Michelle Maria Heyman. Rebecca Hettige Donna. Anna Caroline Hinka. Nicole Elizabeth Hogan. Bon Jisam. Brian Joe. Nicole Karagach. Brianne Forsyth Kay. Emily Kemple. Sophia Kemple. Jacob Kempt. Rachel Geraldine Kieft. Hyung Jun Kim. Michelle King. Xing Yu Ku. Eugene Lally. Carrie Lay. Laura Ann LeBlanc. Nicole Leverink. Matthew Richard Levesque. Amanda Hoy Man Lee. Pei Shan Lee. Ting Yu Lee. Si Han Lin. Stephen Kwan Q Mack. Stephanie Maniscalco. Erin Marie McDowell. Sarah McMullen. Nabil Navodia. Natasha Nicolini. Taylor Nicole Parent. Nadine Rachel Parkinson. Sandra Louise Peroff. Natalie Ann Pirot. Thurka Pushpanathan. Brittany Rebecca Pye. Sylvia Rezonia. Natalie Rotolo. Verity Lynn Sales. Richard Lucas Schinkel. Zachary Seto. Aya Shalan. Rushnik Sheikh. Tian Chun Shen. Udayveer Singh. Hania Taghati. Sherry Wing Yang Tai. Brian Tam. Janelle Marie Terrar. Michael John Uy. Louise Van Wely. Stephanie Vakiewicz. Yasir Ali Walji. Kerry Watman. Kathleen Joyce Whale. Kira Rose Whitelock. Rachel Marie Weber. Sarah Michelle Wilkinson. Helen Elizabeth Wismar. Shintong Yang. Catherine Marie Young. Ruth Ann Zagala. Chu Hui Zheng. Tom Jang.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to introduce Ms. Carolyn Mueller, a graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, who will deliver the valedictory address.
Good morning, Chancellor Labarge, President Dean, Dr. Byrne, McMaster, Mohawk, and Conestoga faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, graduates. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Caroline Mueller. I'm a Harry Potter enthusiast, loyal Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and recent B.Sc.N graduate. It is my greatest honor to stand here today and formally congratulate all of you on your accomplishments. This day marks a time for us all to acknowledge the efforts that we've put in these past 4 years. Together, we have persevered and can now celebrate as graduates of McMaster's Nursing and Medical Radiation Sciences programs. Now, I want you to appreciate that every person in this room has contributed to this momentous occasion, and on behalf of the graduating class, I wish to extend our thanks and gratitude to you all. Firstly, to the faculty, thank you for introducing us to the fascinating theories of Christine Tanner, as well as educating us in the not-so-simple concepts of radiographic physics and sonography, as well as acting as our mentors. Because of your efforts, we have now perfected the art of reflection and can recite the entire list of entry to practice competencies. Secondly, to our families, thank you for listening to us throughout the glorious season of finals, reassuring us that we could pass anatomy, and praising us on high whenever we mastered a new clinical skill. Without a doubt, your dedication and support was one of our greatest motivators. And finally, to the students, we have sacrificed our sleep to late library nights, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, arising before the break of dawn in order to catch that HSR bus and make it on time to clinical placements. Despite the now permanent bags under our eyes and ever-increasing reliance on PRN caffeine doses, we made it, and it was worth it. With these sacrifices and contributions, we have gained the skills that will enable us to care for a variety of populations and complications. And we are now prepared to enter a new chapter of life in which we have the ability to teach you about anatomy and to advocate for patients as well as act as leaders within the healthcare system. Regardless of where we go, our future beholds incredible possibilities. But before we look forward, as any good self-regulating healthcare practitioner knows, reflection builds the foundation for competent practice. And for these reasons, I ask that you allow me to share my reflection of these past 4 years with you. I was originally drawn to McMaster for its renowned School of Nursing. However, that first welcome week, McMaster, for many of us, quickly became more than a school. Throughout these past 4 years, McMaster has become our community, our family, and our home. For myself specifically, I'm incredibly lucky to have been introduced to housemates who share an equal love for Westdale food establishments and for making the best of friends who have some killer dance moves. Now, the moment that really ignited my journey into falling in love with McMaster happened during Faculty Fusion as I stood on Ron Joyce Stadium and I was reciting our faculty oath. I have always loved how this oath so eloquently speaks to the impact that we can have as healthcare workers. And to me, it seems only fitting to end off this journey by reflecting on the message that first joined us as the class of 2016. The oath begins by saying, being a nurse is about giving the best of who you are. This statement speaks to a simple truth for both nurses and medical radiation technologists. It's that healthcare workers constantly give of themselves in order for a patient to progress. By giving the best of who you are, we can respect our patients as individuals who are defined by more than their diagnoses. We can advocate for their needs amongst the interprofessional team, and we are privileged to listen, encourage, and support our patients as they walk through some of life's most difficult times. As well, we are going to ecstatically celebrate a patient with their successful treatments, the achievement of milestones, and when they regain their once-lost confidence. These classic healthcare moments have been made possible because of our education. Our clinical instructors constantly challenged us to seek the best methods for care delivery. And because of this, it is now instinct to not accept an intervention just simply because it's common practice, but to rather use our ways of knowing and critical thinking skills to make a clinical judgment. McMaster has undoubtedly prepared us to give the best care, as well as act as leaders in our profession's relentless pursuit of improving the delivery of healthcare. The oath concluded with stating that no one can make you a nurse or medical radiation technologist, you just are. As a first-year student paying all of this tuition money, I was incredibly perplexed by this statement. Why was I paying all this money and being told that I wouldn't be made into a competent healthcare practitioner? Thankfully, as I've completed my degree, some clarification to this statement has been provided. Yes, McMaster has given us a theoretical understanding of our practice scopes. However, a wise first-year PBL tutor told me that knowledge does not equal behavior. As graduates, we do possess the knowledge to complete our professional, obligatory professional duties, but this knowledge alone will not make us great healthcare workers. To empower your patients requires skills that cannot be taught. It requires you to view your patient holistically and to use their values to determine the direction of their care. And as a member of the McMaster community, I am extremely confident that we are all capable of accomplishing this. I say this because, in my experience, I've been privileged to collaborate with some incredibly intelligent, innovative, and compassionate students. I have watched my peers welcome first years home, help families cope with the grief of a terminal diagnosis, be the most enthusiastic fans at a home opener football game, and slay a simulation lab, but not literally. We have all helped to better someone's McMaster experience, and I am confident we will continue in this positivity as we embark on this new chapter of life. In light of all of my interactions, I am extremely eager to see what each and every one of you accomplish in your future careers. We now sit here at the beginning of this new chapter of life with the potential to shape our future to be anything we desire. This thought in itself is invigorating, unnerving, exciting, and frankly, scary all at the same time. However, thanks to our support systems, our hard efforts, and our faculty's work, we are armed with the skills to become innovators and leaders within the healthcare system. And knowing this, I feel so good. I feel so good. To close, I would like to amend Julius Caesar's notorious statement, McMaster Nursing and Medical Radiation Sciences class of 2016. We came, we saw, we graduated, and now we conquer. Congratulations. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. The healthcare system is incredibly lucky to have you. All right. Do I sit down? Okay.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. May I now call upon our president, who will present two distinguished university professors.
From time to time, the Senate of McMaster University awards the title of Distinguished University Professor to exceptional individuals whose contributions in scholarship and education are truly outstanding. This is McMaster's highest honor for its faculty members. Chancellor Labarge, on behalf of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present McMaster's newest Distinguished University Professor, Dr. Andrea Baumann. Dr. Baumann is a pioneer in nursing research whose work has been published in more than 100 peer-reviewed journals, over 50 series and governance reports, and 3 books. She has written about the North American clinical care environment and highlighted nurses' decision-making in crises, an issue previously ignored by scholars. In 2013, she authored a manuscript solicited by the International Nursing Review on the definition of the nurse at the global level. In 2001, she received the Best Paper Award from the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, and she has also received the Canadian Association of Schools of Nursing Award for Research. A formidable leader in nursing education, Dr. Baumann served as McMaster's Associate Dean of the School of Nursing, where she developed Ontario's first nurse practitioner program, designed the nursing graduate program, and led the creation of the award-winning Master of Science in Global Health program. Now, as Associate Vice President of Global Health for the Faculty of Health Sciences, she has been successful in having the School of Nursing designated a Pan-American World Health Organization collaborating center. She has also played key roles in education initiatives in Kenya, Pakistan, South Africa, Bangladesh, and the United Arab Emirates. Domestically, Dr. Baumann was one of the developers of the Nursing Leadership and Management Program, the first distance education program offered to nurses locally, nationally, and internationally. And she was a member of the Canadian Interim Governing Council that oversaw the transformation of the Medical Research Council to the Canadian Institutes of Health Research. Dr. Baumann is a Fellow of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences and of the American Academy of Nursing. She has received the Aga Khan Foundation Award for Excellence in International Education, the University of Windsor Outstanding Alumni Award, and the Council of Ontario University Programs in Nursing Award for strategic contributions to nursing education. Congratulations, Dr. Baumann. Hey, Andrea. Fabulous career. Your photo here. Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of McMaster University, I have the honor to present McMaster's even newest, or newer, distinguished university professor, Dr. Salim Yusuf. Dr. Yusuf, who is the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Ontario Research Chair at McMaster, is, to put it simply, one of the most influential scientists in the world. He has received the Lifetime Research Achievement Award of the Canadian Cardiovascular Society, the Paul Wood Silver Medal of the British Cardiac Society, the European Society of Cardiology Gold Medal, the American Heart Association Clinical Research Award, the Canada Gardner-Whiteman Award, and more than 50 other international and national awards for his research. He is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada, an Officer of the Order of Canada, and a member of the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame. After arriving at McMaster in 1992, Dr. Yusuf founded the Population Health Research Institute, PHRI, which was subsequently named one of the 10 highest impact research centers in the world. Dr. Yusuf's clinical and population research on cardiovascular disease has been and continues to be seismically influential. He has, for example, made significant contribution to the roles of beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, antiplatelet therapy, and antithrombotic therapies for cardiovascular disease prevention. He also pioneered the concept of the poly pill. His more than 950 peer-reviewed papers have been cited more than 114,000 times in other scholarly work, and his research influences worldwide guidelines for cardiovascular disease prevention and treatment. As a result, the Globe and Mail named Dr. Yusuf Canada's most influential scientist, and he has been ranked among the top 10 globally cited scientists in any field at least 3 times. His main hope, that's Heart Outcomes Prevention Evaluation paper, was the most cited paper in clinical medicine in 2001, and his InterHeart paper was included on Lancet's list of the top 100 papers in that publication's 200-year history. Congratulations, Dr. Yusuf. What a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Long overdue too, I might say.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
May I now introduce Dr. Jennifer Mitten from the McMaster Alumni Association, who will deliver the Alumni Association address.
Chancellor Labrage, President Dean, McMaster, Mohawk, Conestoga faculty, fellow alumni, honored guests, and especially members of the McMaster 2016 class. The first time we did this, it was 122 years ago, and there were 16 of you. The events of commencement, as Convocation was known then, were a little different from today's ceremony. In 1894, McMaster's first convocation included a sermon, the reading of the graduate theses, yes, they read them aloud, word for word, and the conferring of 60 honorary degrees. The black graduation gowns back then were made of alpaca and lined with white sateen for arts grads and lavender for the graduates from theology. One of those graduates wearing alpaca that day was a young woman named Elizabeth Wells. She later published a description of the ceremony in Canadian Magazine. In that article, she wrote of McMaster's first convocation, "The enthusiasm shown by the students who sat massed in the body of the large assembly showed plainly that they were filled with the spirit of loyalty to their university." I'm not sure if 16 people in alpaca gowns counts as a mass, but the feelings of enthusiasm and pride were likely valid observations. I hope you have similar feelings today. I know when I did when I graduated from McMaster School of Nursing in 1999 and again in 2007. Today, our university is very different from the McMaster Elizabeth Wells knew 122 years ago, and our institutional history and credentials are far more robust. Today, I hope that your McMaster has earned your enthusiasm and loyalty through its service, excellence, leadership, and accomplishment, just as you have worked hard to earn our pride in you and our loyalty to you as you become the newest members of the McMaster alumni family. The McMaster Alumni Association's goal is to take your connection to McMaster beyond the feelings that are so strong today and help it make it into a lifelong connection of substance. In your lives as alumni, the association will work to keep you connected. You will receive the McMaster Times Alumni Magazine, the e-newsletter Maroon Mail, and you can be part of the association's community on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. As new grads, you can sample activities and opportunities from our MAC-10 program, a series of events and services including social activities, career assistance, and online and in-person networking. We've also added a mentoring program that gives you access to the wisdom of hundreds of fellow MAC grads through a searchable database. Throughout your life, you can take advantage of value-added services like home, auto, and life insurance, mortgage, credit cards, and travel services. You can also join your fellow alumni at one of the 100 events we organize annually in Hamilton, across Canada, and around the world. There's much more information about Alumni Association in the alumni.mcmaster.ca website and in the Convocation booklet with your first McMaster Times. All you really need to know for now, however, is that the McMaster Alumni Association and the Mac alumni family can be part of your McMaster experience in a big way or small way anytime you'd like. When you're ready, the McMaster Alumni Association will be too. One last thing, the Alumni Association is running a contest to help you spread your wings after graduation. We're giving away a $1,000 travel voucher and a host of other swag and tickets. Just go to alumni.mcmaster.ca to find out the entry information. So, to the class of 2016, I offer my most sincere congratulations on your academic accomplishments, on your graduation, and your first moments as members of the McMaster alumni family. You should be extremely proud. I know I am.
Thank you, Jennifer. May I invite Dr. Dean back to the podium to deliver his President's Address.
Convocation is a wonderful time, and our ceremonies, particularly in this week in June, are always very exciting and gratifying for all of us. This particular ceremony is a special one because it brings together McMaster University, Mohawk College, and Conestoga College in celebration of all of your achievements and the achievements of our joint enterprise as educational institutions in this region. I want to provide some closing comments today on the subject of education. You've heard from Caroline the wonderful point about what you have learned at the university beyond the particular technical skills and details that you have mastered. And she spoke, I think, inspiringly about what you will be able to do in the transformation of healthcare from here on. And before her, Dr. Costa-Mendes spoke about transformative education and the importance of that for the good of the globe, both in terms of health, but in terms of the overall condition of our life together on this planet. I want to underline something essential about the education you have received here and about education in general. And that is that learning is a profoundly social activity. We learn by dialogue with others, whether the interaction is electronic or through the pages of a textbook, or whether the other party in the dialogue exists as a professor, a mentor, a classmate, might even be a character in a novel. Education is impossible outside of society, just as society is impossible without education. The American philosopher and education reformer John Dewey made this point more than a century ago, beginning with a very simple declaration. I believe, he wrote, that the school is primarily a social institution. Dewey's progressive education movement held that education is not simply a social activity, but it is the agent of social reform. Dewey argued that the education system at the time, we're talking about the latter part of the 19th century, failed to recognize the school as a form of community life. Instead, he wrote, it conceives the school as a place where certain information is to be given, where certain lessons are to be learned, or where certain habits are to be formed. The value of these is conceived as lying largely in the remote future. The student must do these things for the sake of something else he or she is to do. They are mere preparation. As a result, they do not become a part of life experience and are so not truly educative. Those are Dewey's own words. True education for Dewey is not preparation for life, but it is inseparable from life itself. Education is the driver of human progress and the critical means by which society is made and continually remade. Dewey articulated this in 1897 in a document called My Pedagogic Creed, which is still relevant today. Universities continue to insist that their mandate is not simply to provide vocational training, but to educate citizens to shape society. So it is no coincidence that Dewey is heavily cited in a 2013 report to the European Commission, which seeks to reimagine post-secondary education on humanistic principles, and by so doing, contribute to Europe's social and economic renewal. Education may be a powerful agent of social reformation, but if it only reinforces an existing framework, it becomes the enemy of progress and reform. 50 years of apartheid in South Africa was facilitated by formidable police and military forces inside the country, of course, but education was the real and most effective tool of oppression. That is why the Soweto riots of 1976, which triggered democratization in that country, started with school children protesting against the language of instruction. Now, here in Canada, the legacy of the residential school system has also proven how the power of education can be turned to destructive purposes, to advance the cultural hegemony and political control of one group over another. Society made homogeneous through suppression extermination, or assimilation is not society as Dewey imagined it, nor is this a model that can be called education in any real sense. It is forced acculturation using the apparatus of education. Interestingly, the genesis of Canada's residential school system coincides historically with the emergence of the progressive education movement south of the border. The Mohawk Indian Residential School opened in Brantford in 1831, but it was in the latter half of the 19th century that the system took shape and the policy that drove it became apparent. After the Constitution Act of 1867, Canada formally adopted a policy of assimilation, and the Nicholas Flood Davin Report, 12 years later, declared in language that is still shocking when we hear it today, that, quote, "the aim of education is to destroy the Indian." Duncan Campbell Scott, Superintendent of Indian Affairs in the Canadian government from 1913 to 1932, spoke of the need to, quote, "get rid of the Indian problem, continuing the process of acculturation until there is not a single Indian in Canada that has not, he said, been absorbed into the body politic, and there is no Indian question and no Indian department." So in 1920, Scott drafted an amendment to the Indian Act, making it mandatory for all Native children between 7 and 15 to attend school, attendance at residential schools becoming compulsory. This curious contrast shows that even where there is consensus that education has the power to shape society, it does not follow that the inevitable outcome of education will be democracy, enlightenment, and the realization of human potential. If our country is to right the wrong caused by the residential school system and to evolve as it should, education must be returned to its Dewey-esque purpose, and it must become actively engaged in social reform. It must work to bring us all into what might be called a commonwealth of knowledge, infinitely rich and complex, admitting diverse perspectives and epistemologies because of the infinite richness and complexity of society. It is little wonder that so many of the calls to action in the 2015 report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada directly address education. 6 seek to redress the immediate legacy of the residential schools by reforming the funding and administration of education for Indigenous young people and counteracting the alienation of students from their heritage. Many others, and here is where all of you come in, many others address the need to educate non-Indigenous Canadians about Indigenous issues, especially those in public roles, whose own education, whether they know it or not, gives them the power to shape our society. Thus, nurses, doctors, journalists, and lawyers are all enjoined to acquire the cultural competency to make them active agents of a new Canada, founded not on exclusivity, coercion, and force, but on inclusivity. As Indigenous educator Roberta Jameson recently noted in the Toronto Star, to make reconciliation work, non-Indigenous Canadians will have to invest time. It is a scandal that for nearly a century, our country turned education to the diabolical purpose of destroying the Indian. For all who cherish their work as educators, this is cause for indignation, great grief, and regret. But today, for all of you and for all of us here on the platform, is a moment of great promise. You have been nurtured at our institutions in a tradition of progressive education. You've acquired not just, this is Caroline's point, not just the information necessary to perform a particular task valuable to our economy, but knowledge and wisdom derived more broadly from our communal life and therefore potentially transformative of our society. So graduates, the point of celebrating your success, as we have done today, is to underline the extent to which your individual achievements are also social achievements. This is a communal event because the meaning, the quality, and the richness of our life together on this planet is ultimately the point of education. And for that reason, this physical place is highly significant. It is literally the ground of our coming together and the emblem of our deeper commonality, our kinship, and our shared aspirations. We've decorated it, you can see the flags around the room, with the iconography of a culture many of us share. Yet our obligation as educators, and we are all educators with that responsibility, must be to grow in dialogue with other iconographies, other cultures, other histories, not blindly, indiscriminately, or sentimentally, but as thinking, feeling, complete human beings. Education thrives on the sheer abundance of our existence. So I will end where, at future convocations, I intend us to start, by recognizing and acknowledging that we meet on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and within the lands protected by the dish with one spoon wampum agreement. To say that is to acknowledge a debt to those who were here before us, and also to speak against those teachers, clerical and secular, whose project over nearly a century was to alienate peoples from their history and culture, and to make of the educational process the very antithesis of what it ought to have been. I could not be more proud to stand with you in this meeting place today, pondering just what, moving on from here, you will all be able to do with our society and our world. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the class of 2016. As Dr. Mitten eloquently said, you're now all graduates and members of this wonderful group of alumni, and as a fellow alumni, I'm very much looking forward to see where you all go from here. Dr. Mendez, congratulations on your accomplishments, and again, welcome to the McMaster family. Dr. Dean, you've given us a lot to think about. The role of education is one that is obviously so important to our society, and I think important not only in terms of the cultural issues that are facing us, but also the role of education. As a fellow alumni, what I'd like to just reflect back to the almost 50 years since I graduated, and what sticks with me and what doesn't. And unlike your valedictorian, who seems to have been profoundly marked by certain elements of her education, I don't remember anything in particular that I learned here. Right? But I can tell you that this university gave me a foundation of knowledge on which I built for the future, and that is priceless. It also taught me critical thinking, as your valedictorian again mentioned, and that has been something that stands you in good stead all your life. But more importantly, as I came to McMaster as a young 17-year-old from a nicely cocooned family to a university not nearly as diverse as today, I got into a group that was completely different from anything I knew from my previous experience. I got to meet new people. I got to look at different viewpoints. I got exposed to ideas that I hadn't run across before. An environment where you could talk about it freely and openly and try and work to grow. And I think as alumnus, we all have a role to play in ensuring that our universities maintain that openness. You can see the importance of getting it wrong and getting it right. And so I encourage you to play a role in making sure that we can keep McMaster the way, as a leader in education, that it has been for the last 125 years. I have just, on that note though, I want to wish you all well in your future career. I have just a couple of housekeeping items to tell you about before we close. Pinning ceremonies for the nursing graduates and their guests will be at 1:30 in the Sheraton Hotel Grand Ballroom for McMaster students, in Wentworth Room B for Conestoga students, and in Wentworth Room C for Mohawk students. Flowers that have been delivered for graduates will be available at the coat check in the main lobby. I would ask that you please remain standing at your seats until the academic procession and the graduates have left the hall. Finally, please join now in the singing of our national anthem. After the singing of the anthem, this convocation stands adjourned.